Hey everybody, Crystal Kitsune here, and welcome to Monday's video. Um, Today we are going to be doing the higher and lower game again. Now, as you know, usually I do the higher and lower game with shots. Lately I have been using this Raspberita, which is like a pussy drink, essentially. It is fruit flavored, raspberry flavored margarita type alcohol, which is very low in alcohol, so there's like hardly any problem with it. But this time I'm gonna be doing Fireball, which is cinnamon flavored cinnamon whiskey. Um, I've been wanting to get this and try it for the longest time because I've seen other YouTubers try this. I did actually get to try some because my uncle had some. And fun fact, he kept his in the freezer, which helps control the burn. And also fun fact, it doesn't freeze because it's not water. It's something totally different. So it gets cold, but it does not freeze. So but putting in the freezer helps control the burn of the alcohol. So that's why it's like frosty, because it's been in the freezer. So I got my little shot glass, but I'm only gonna do half shots like I usually did with the Raspberita because this is whiskey, not Raspberita, and it'll probably fuck me up a whole lot faster than the regular, the other stuff that I was using. So we're gonna be doing a couple of rounds of higher and lower, and also a little sort of thing if you haven't seen it yet. There is a 100 subscriber special video of me eating something really special for the occasion. So if you want to check that out, go to the front page or whatever page it's on when you watch this and click on that and watch it. Then you can see me eat stuff. But yeah, we're going to do this and see how far we get. So if you haven't seen any of these other videos, what the higher and lower game is basically you're given a prompt. Like, okay, you've got Ralph Lauren, which is a fashion designer, versus the anti-Semitism. So what you need to do is you need to decide of whether or not Ralph Lauren has more monthly searches than the anti-Semitism or not. So that's why there's a prompt here, higher or lower. It goes based off the monthly searches of Google. So however many times per month it's viewed. So the average monthly search of Ralph Lauren is 2,240,000 views or searches. So our quest is to figure out if it's going to be if anti-Semitism is searched higher or searched lower. So I'm gonna say that it's searched lower because I'm not really completely sure what anti-Semitism is, and it looks like it has something to do with probably Jewish people. I'm trying not to be ignorant. I don't want to just come and say that, yeah, I know what anti-Semitism is. Of course it's going to be higher or lower. But I'm just going to say it's lower because with having 2 million searches for Ralph Lauren, I think it's going to be lower. And sorry about the car that just went past that you probably heard because I don't have any sound on. Okay, so anti-Semitism against Angelina Jolie. Now that's kind of like a no-brainer because Angelina Jolie is pretty much in the tabloids like all the time. Like whether she's breaking up with Brad or she has issues with her kids or some movie that she's in. So I'm thinking that she's going to be more searched than anti-Semitism. Yeah, for almost 5 million searches. Okay, so Angelina Jolie against the HTC Vive. Now, the HTC Vive is still relatively new. They're making games and such for them, and there's different companies. There's the Vive, and then there's the Oculus Rift. So I mean, there's like the competing, like people would want to buy it and see like compare it between the other systems and such. Do I think that it searched more than Angelina Jolie? I don't think so. But I could be wrong. But my initial thought is that it's not going to be searched more than Angelina Jolie for some reason, because this is like 5 million against however many, but I don't think it's up to 5 million. I'd be surprised if it was, but I don't think it's higher. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that much higher. James Brown. Okay, so James Brown, if you don't know who James Brown is, he is like a really famous performer back in the day. I don't know exactly when he came out, but he was very, very popular. It's Michael Jackson's moves. A lot of his moves were based off of James Brown, I think. That's what I read, as well as some other people. But James Brown was like a big influence on Michael Jackson. Now, if he just recently died, people might be searching for him. But if he hasn't died recently, I'm not thinking that he is going to have that much search. Because he's kind of like one of those people that, yeah, he's like a really famous person, and yeah, he's had like a lot of great songs or whatever, and back in the day, he was really popular, but today, like, that generation kind of just like, yeah, he's got a name, like everybody knows James Brown, but whether or not he's searched more than HTC Vive, I seriously doubt it, because even though he's like a legend, I don't think that people are going to be searching for James Brown more than HTC Vive, because, like I said, usually in this generation, people don't give a crap, to be honest. So, I'm going to say he's lower. About half. Okay, so James Brown against the timer, like a kitchen timer or an egg timer or something. What the fuck? Like, honestly? Like, I don't get, like, it looks like just like a regular, like, egg timer, like you set, and it goes off in, like, it has an hour, up to an hour, and, you set it to time things, like tea or eggs or whatever. They usually call them egg timers because you set the thing for, like, 15 minutes and then let the eggs go. I don't actually have one, so I'm just gonna say it's lower. And it's not. What the fuck? Like, seriously, like, why is timer more than James Brown? I would think, like, timers are, like, I have no clue. But here is our first shot. Putting it in the freezer also makes it kind of syrupy. So it didn't come out super, like, thinned out. It, like, kind of poured in, like, really, like warm maple syrup, kind of. So, here we go. To me, it tastes like Red Hots, which I don't mind because I like Red Hots. To a point. Red Hots are a thing that I used to get in Halloween candy a lot, and because they're like something that people always want to get rid of because people don't really like them. But I like them enough, and that it basically just tastes like drinking a Red Hot with a little bit of burn on the back because it's alcohol, but other than that, it's fine. Okay, so Samsung has 11,100,000 searches. Popeye, I don't think has hardly that many because, okay, Popeye, if again you don't know, I think he started off like a comic strip or just a comic in general, and he is a sailor. They call him Popeye the Sailor Man. So he either started as a cartoon first and then a comic, or vice versa. I really don't know. If you want to know more about it, you can search it for yourself. But he was this really, like, seasoned sailor. And he has, like, these big, like, weird, like from here, it's, like really super thin. And then from here down, it's, like, this weird muscle with anchors on it. And he has this affinity where he gets stronger if he eats spinach. So his, like, big spiel is, like, if he has spinach, then he gets stronger. There's this enemy that he has that's named Bruno or something like that always comes after him and starts to beat him up. And then somebody gives him spinach, and then he's fine, and he can beat up Bruno or Bluto or whatever the name is. I really honestly don't remember. I think it's Bluto, not Bruto, but it's like Bluto or not Pluto. It's one of those kind of things. And he's got a girlfriend named Olive Oil, and then later he has a kid named Sweet Pea. And it's a old, I think it's old comics and it's old cartoon back in the day. So it's really, really old. So the reason why I'm saying that it's got a lower search, because part of you out there probably don't even know who the fuck Popeye is. Samsung is a very, very, very well-known company that does cell phones. I've got a Samsung cell phone. As you can see, it says Samsung. And they do like other electronics and such, like entertainment centers, TVs, radio, stereos. So they are a very big company. Popeye, even though he's like a very well-known character to many people, especially older people, I don't think he searched more than Samsung. So I'm just gonna say he's lower. Not more than I thought. I mean, it's only like 1 million to like 11 million, but to be searched like 1,830 times per month. I mean, I think it's maybe because people were trying to figure out like who the fuck this person is, but whatever. Okay, so 1,830,000 searches for Popeye. How many searches for ice climbing? Now, I don't know anything about ice climbing. I don't know anything about rock climbing. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. So I really don't know how popular the sports are. Rock climbing is pretty popular because they have like rock climbing walls and stuff like that. But I haven't really seen a lot about ice climbing. So I can't really say that I know how many is gonna. I'm just gonna say it's lower because I don't think it's that big of a thing. Yeah, I didn't think it was that big of a thing. Ice climbing against Samaritans. Again, I'm not quite sure what Samaritans are. They look like just people from a country of some sort. I mean, I know there's good Samaritans, which just means people that help other people, and they're good. So I'm guessing it's like good people or something. I'm just gonna say it's higher just by default because, again, ice climbing, I don't really know. Yeah, okay, so that works. Okay, so Samaritans against Ryanair. I never even heard of Ryanair before. I'm assuming it's some sort of airplane because it looks like it's right there on the side of an airplane. But I don't know what Ryanair is, so I'm just gonna say higher. Whoa, holy shit, 24 million? That's even higher than Samsung. What the fuck? Okay. That's just blows my mind. Okay, so Ryanair against Jenna Marbles. Now, Jenna Marbles, a YouTuber, but I really don't think that she's got more than 24 million people searching for her, so I'm just going to say lower, yeah. Drug addiction, which I think is probably going to be higher because a lot of people have drug addictions. Sad to say. I knew some people that have drug addictions, and it didn't end well, so I'm not going to put a light, I'm gonna put a light on it because, I was gonna say I wasn't going to talk light about it. Like, I'm not gonna make a joke about drug addictions because I do know some people who have problems with, addiction stuff. It's not necessarily drugs. I mean, you can get addicted to a lot of different things. I mean, you can technically get addicted to chocolate if you're like really that kind of person. You can get addicted to alcohol, but see, I do it in a manner where I only drink a very little bit at like once every so often. So I don't like sit there and go through bottles, a day. My uncle, he was addicted to alcohol, but he was drinking Coors Light. But he was drinking Coors Light cans from like the time he got up to the time he went to bed. So that mixed with pills, he ended up committing suicide, which is not. If you have a problem with suicide, thinking about suicide, you should really try to find help. But on a lighter note, I guess I think that this does have a higher search than Jenna Marbles because it is such a widespread phenomenon. People get addicted to drugs, whether prescription drugs, other kind of drugs. People get addicted to them, and they're addicted for a reason because, that's how people make money is through the addiction. So I think it has a higher search. No. Now that's surprising because I would think that drug addiction would have a higher searcher than Jenna Marbles because, like I said, it's a widespread problem. I mean, not just people here in the United States. People all over the place have an addiction to something. I mean, I don't have really an addiction to like booze or any medications or anything. So I'm not like, the only thing that I have is like a habit. I don't have an addiction. But I mean, there's smoking, there's, drinking, there's, hardcore drugs, softcore drugs. It's just, I figured there'd be more to that. So trying to like hit home, no. Here's the shot for losing that round. Okay. Whew. I have to come back from that one. No, like I said, I don't drink hardly at all. Like, I'm not like a social drinker. I don't, like, I'd rather have soda than anything. But it's more interesting to do this with shots because, like, why would I want to just drink soda shots or something, if I get something wrong? It's a punishment. And this is kind of like a punishment because I don't really drink and I don't, partake in alcohol that often. So, to get the question wrong, it's kind of like a punishment. And so far, I've only taken maybe about one full shot because I did 2 half shots. So, I'm fine. And we only got a couple, or like 7 more minutes, so we won't probably get too much more in me before the end of the episode. So, we got Madden 16, which has 135,000 searches against basketball. Now, basketball, like, that's kind of like saying Madden 16 against sports in general, because basketball has so many facets to it. I mean, there is college basketball. There's like the NBA. There are basketball-related games. There is like just street basketball where you're playing with your friends. Basketball has just so many different like ways you can go. That's like kind of like a very tip of the iceberg kind of thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna search for Madden 16, or I'm gonna search for basketball. When like this is Madden 16, and this is like basketball, because there's so many different ways you can go with that. So that said, I'm gonna say that Madden 16 has less searches than basketball by a wide margin, 2 million. H&M has either higher or lower searches than basketball. Now H&M, I forgot what that stands for, but it's a clothing store. I applied there once when I was looking for a job, and it's kind of a pretty high-end-ish type clothing store. As you can see, there looks like some pretty nice clothing there on the racks there. I never shop there myself because I'm usually my clothes come from Walmart or thrift stores because I'm a broke ass bitch, like I said many times. I don't have the money to go get like some high-end clothing. It's like a step down, I think, from like Dolce & Gabbana and Calvin Klein and whatnot. So it's like Calvin Klein's like way the fuck up here, and all those other ones, Calvin Klein and all those other, and then it's like a couple steps lower, and then H&M, and then a couple steps lower, and then something else like Old Navy, and then way down here is Walmart. Because they sell their clothes pretty cheap, and I don't have the money to buy like a $50 shirt or more for a shirt or a pair of pants or whatever. And they probably don't even fit me because I'm like pretty big, and I don't think they even go up past like large or something. But anyway, so I don't know. Honestly, I think it's probably lower. I don't think it's searched that much, and I'm wrong. That's actually kind of surprising too, because I mean I don't really hear much about H&M. Of course, I'm not really into like the fashion stuff, so I don't really pay attention to, what's going on in the world of clothing and whatnot. So I don't really pay attention to anything that's going on with clothing stores. So that's my mistake. It's like that very first thing, like you put it in your mouth and it's kind of like that weird, like the alcohol taste, and then once you get past that, when it's going down, it tastes just like red hot, or red hot. So Okay, so Bruno Mars against Manny Pacquiao. I'm probably saying that wrong. NCAA. His has that behind him, but I never heard of Manny Pacquiao or whatever. So I'm just gonna say, like, right off the bat, that he's lower searched. Yeah, because I've never even heard of him before. Michael Jackson. Now that is some funny ass shit, because I said that Michael Jackson got his inspiration of dance from James Brown and some other people. But I think that's just kind of funny because out of all the fucking things that could pop up, Michael Jackson. Things like this happen every so often. Like, there'll be something that we have not talked about or heard about in fucking forever. And then all of a sudden, like, I just bring it up or something like that. And it's like, hey, you remember something or whatever? And she goes, yeah, I remember that. And then, like, not like instantly, but like not too much longer after that, like we come up with we see something on the TV or hear something on the radio about that thing that we haven't heard about for a really long time. One good thing was, a long time ago, I had an Avon business. I sold Avon to people. I didn't stay in it for too long, but I sold Avon to people, and I heard about it from online or something. I think there was like an online advertisement or something like that, and I joined up and became an Avon representative. And then it wasn't like maybe like a month later, they started advertising becoming an Avon representative on the TV when they have not had that on the TV for like ever. Like, we haven't even heard anything about Avon for like all this time. So then, like, all of a sudden it pops up with Avon. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that Michael Jackson is higher than Manny what's his face, because he's Michael Jackson, for fuck's sake. Even though he's dead, I mean, he's still like an icon. I mean, people still talk about him, people still like do covers of his songs and whatnot. So I mean, he's still, even though he's been dead since 2009, which is quite a long time ago, he's still like, I still like Michael Jackson. I like the old Michael Jackson. I like the Michael Jackson that was like Thriller and Bad and Dangerous and, you know, that kind of stuff. The last album that I got was that Ecstasy or whatever one, and it was okay, but I mean, it wasn't that great. So I just kind of was like, I mean, it's not his best stuff. But one of the ones that was funny was, I don't know if any of you fans have heard, or Shinies have heard about this, but he had one that was called Blood on the Dance Floor. Now, Blood on the Dance Floor was like kind of his way of trying to fit in, I think, because there was, I think 3 songs, and then like 2 that were based off of his movie Ghost, and then the rest were all remixes of the History album. One was called Blood on the Dance Floor, which was one of the pretty famous ones, which was about murder. Then he had Superfly Sister, which was about sex, and then he had Morphine, which was about drugs. So like all the songs that came out around that time were about murder or sex or drugs, and so I think that was his way of kind of fitting in. It came out around 1997, so I don't know, but I still liked it. I like his music, and forgive me if some of you don't, but he was just somebody that I liked when I was growing up. So I'm just gonna say this is lower because, yeah, Michael Jackson. He's Michael Jackson. Knott's Country looks like soccer. I'm just gonna say it's higher by not too much. Royal Robbins, I don't know who that is. And my time just went off. Come on. Royal Robbins, I guess higher. No. Okay, so I don't know who Royal Robbins is, but apparently he's not enough to bypass the soccer game. So this is going to be the last shot for the episode, so cheers. Thanks so much for watching. Smooth. It's starting to warm up, which is why it's getting a little bit harder to take, because it's getting warmer and it's not completely cold anymore. I will say, like, you stick it in the freezer, when you first take a thing of it, it's fine, but like once you have it out in the like the warm atmosphere, it tends to get very unfrozen, or not unfrozen, but whatever, pretty fast. Okay, so that's gonna be it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, share with your friends, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Discord. We got Discord now, so you can go to that link down there and join the group. Join the shinies, talk with other shinies. If you go over here, there'll be a link that YouTube suggests you check out, or I should say down here, right here in this section will be a video that YouTube suggests you check out. In the middle of the screen over here, where that 4 is, or actually a little bit lower, where the play again is, will be my face. You can click on that to go subscribe. And over there where that commercial is, I have to remember where to point. Over here where that commercial is, the Fast Enough for Moms, for Tough Moms, is going to be a link to the merchandise store. So you make sure you click on that if you're interested in getting a t-shirt or a tote bag for yourself to wear that's got my mascot on it. So I'm going to say thanks for watching, everyone.